everybody, it's Emily at Arrrgh Schooling, and today I'm going to bring you my October TBR. This October I have a pretty ambitious TBR because not only do I have what I'm showing you here, I'm also planning on doing Spookathon. So I'm going to have a separate TBR video for that in a week or so, I think, once I've actually finalized my Spookathon TBR. I think I know what I want to do. I think I have my list planned, but you know, I might change my mind completely in a week, so we'll see. I'm not going to talk about that here though. So these are the books that I plan to read in the month of October. The first book I want to show you is going to be the Arrrgh Book Club Pick of the Month for October, and that is Ruth Ware's The Turn of the Key. I had a poll on my channel that I put up over the weekend, and this is the book you guys picked, and I'm actually really happy that you did because of those three books, I think this is the one that I was the most excited to pick up. And so this is a new release about a nanny, I believe, who starts working for this new family. The kids are weird. It's a smart home, which is sort of like almost a modern idea of a haunted house, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I'm very excited to pick this up. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I'm really excited. I've been really in the mood for some good thrillers. October is typically when I want to read anything and everything that scares me. So if you want to join in and read Turn of the Key with me, that'd be awesome. I'm going to do a live show at the end of the month and we'll talk about it. It's very laid back, so I'm really excited to read this in October. Next up, I have two books that go together. I really need to reread Scythe and Thunderhead. I planned on reading Scythe in September. It did not happen, so I'm going to try to fit this in at the beginning of October, and then I also want to read Thunderhead because I really want to read all of this again before jumping into the toll because it's been like a year and I want everything to be fresh in my mind. I'm so excited for the toll. It is my absolute most anticipated book of the year, and so I can't wait to get my hands on it. For those that want to join in, it's also going to be the November Arrrgh Book Club pick, so just if you still haven't read these, read them. They're so good. This is dystopian, utopian, I guess. It starts out utopian and becomes dystopian, I think. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Beyond is amazing. This is a young adult trilogy about a world in the future. We have been able to conquer disease, death, old age, like people don't grow old anymore, and everyone is happy and everything is perfect, and the world is run not by humans or the government, but the Thunderhead, which is basically the cloud that has now become sentient. And the only way to die is if you are murdered by a scythe, who are ordained murderers, essentially. They choose who they kill, but they have quotas to meet and standards and rules and all this stuff. And in Scythe, you're following two teens as they become apprenticed to a scythe. And then Thunderhead picks up where all that leaves off, and it's just so good. It's amazing. You have to read it. So hopefully I get both of these done. I have four other books that are sort of alternates that maybe I'll get to them, but if I don't, it's fine, but I'd like to read them. So first up is Holo Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton. I actually started it. I'm probably about a third of the way in. I picked this up in August, I think, and just I wasn't in the mood. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. I was enjoying the story itself. I wasn't in the mood for it. So I set it aside and I wanted to come back later. October seems a good time for that. This is a story of the zombie apocalypse as seen from the point of view of animals. And so you're following a crow, a domesticated crow, and he's figuring out how to save humankind because he misses it. And so you're getting the perspective of the animals, the domesticated animals in the surrounding area, and it's weird, and the language is definitely different. At times it's hilarious, and then it's like, okay, I got the joke, let's move on. So I'm more just curious to see where it goes at this point. I don't know if this is going to be as amazing of a five-star read as I had hoped it would be, but it's definitely weird and I'm intrigued to continue. I also wanted to read Misery this month. I watched Castle Rock on Hulu last year, and I've been waiting to see what the new one's going to be, and it's going to be like a Misery prequel. And this is one of those Stephen King books that I didn't quite get, but when I picked it up, I picked this up, I want to say I was pregnant with my twins, or it was right after they were born. And that was not the right time to pick this up. It was so dark and depressing, and I couldn't. So I put it aside, and I've never picked it up since then. And knowing that there's a prequel, I mean, I've seen the movie of Misery, but I know that there's more to it than what I got out of the movie, and I want to know that story. So I really want to push myself and try to read this before I watch the second season of Castle Rock, which I think starts in like 2 weeks, but I might be wrong. I know it's in October though. I also want to read Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I've had this for ages and I haven't picked it up. It is really short. I should be able to read this quickly. My main reason for picking this up is because I'm still trying to whittle down the last handful of challenges in the Build Your Library Reading Challenge I set up at the beginning of the year. And one of the challenges is to read a book with a female scientist in it. And that is what this book is about. It's about a group of female scientists on this mission into a strange place where things have happened. I don't know the details, but I've been intrigued by this synopsis for a long time. So basically, yeah, it's this weird place that's been cut off from the rest of the world, and everyone who's gone there has died or gone insane, I believe. And so this new group of scientists are sent to go and inspect and see what they can learn. And it sounds really interesting. And then the last book I had in this pile of alternates is Night Books by J.A. White. I actually just stumbled upon this the other day and was so intrigued I had to pick it up. This is middle grade, so I might do this as a read aloud with my youngest. But it says, Alex has loved scary stories his whole life. Now he's trapped in one. After Alex sneaks out in the middle of the night, he becomes imprisoned by the witch, Natasha, in her magical apartment. Another child in the apartment, Yasmin, assures Alex that she's already tried every means of escape. Only Natasha holds the bone keys that lead back to their world, and she'll never part from them. But Natasha likes stories, and Alex's only chance for survival is to keep Natasha satisfied by reading her one of his own hair-raising tales each night. Except Alex is running out of new stories and soon out of time. So I'm getting definite Scheherazade, 1001 Arabian Nights, except flipped with horror stories and a child trying to save himself from this witch. It sounds amazing. I'm very intrigued, and I love a book about books and stories. I love that. And as if that wasn't enough, plus Spookathon, which is another 3 to 5 books, I'm also working on my level 5 update, so these are the books that I might be hitting in October, but I might also be reading other ones too, so this is just, I'm guessing what I'll actually be able to accomplish. So first I have The Hobbit, which is a reread because I haven't read this in a good 5 years, 6 years. When did I write level 5? That would be an indication of how long it's been. So 7 years maybe. So I'm very excited. I'm reading it for lesson planning purposes, but I'm also going to be reading this as a read aloud with my youngest. I'm so excited. She's never listened to The Hobbit. She's seen Lord of the Rings, but she doesn't really know the backstory and stuff, so I'm really excited to read it with her. I'm also going to be reading Blood on the River by Lisa Carbone. This is a middle grade historical fiction story about the Jamestown settlement in 1607, and it follows the main character is Samuel Collier, who is a boy who's tagged along on this trip. And then I'm also going to be reading Chains by Laurie House Anderson. I bought this a while back and I've been just very excited to pick it up. It's about an African-American girl's experience during the Revolutionary War, and I'm very excited to read from that perspective, and I've also heard excellent things about the series, so I'm really looking forward to picking that up. So, as I said, it's a pretty ambitious TBR. Look at that. It's a lot. So it's a bit ambitious, but I think I can tackle it. I want to say I average about 6 to 7 books a month, so who knows. I'm very excited for the month of October. It's going to be a great month. I have a lot of fun stuff coming. Sarah's going to be home for a week. We have several book signings we're going to. It's going to be great. So I hope you guys have an exciting October planned. What are you planning on reading this month? I'd love to hear about it. Let me know down below in the comments and we can chat. Thanks so much for watching. Happy reading. Bye.